Got it? Hey Pisces, welcome to your May reading. My son is here. I'll turn it off for you. My son is here, so he may be a little bit disruptive. He's now 3, and it's a little bit harder to do my recordings without him needing my attention, so please be patient with that. I have already shuffled. I did begin, but my speech was off with the camera that I can see. Hello? Yep, it seems to be fine now. I didn't test it. I realized I didn't test before I began. So you'll make sure the mic's on as well, the right mic. Or else we're starting again. Okay, we're good. We're golden. So I have begun. I had to reset because I could see that the sync was off and I just couldn't deal with that. I don't want you listening and having that annoying where you watch the screen and the voice is not synced properly. That drives me insane. So I'm going to begin again. I only read the first column anyway. So we begin with a really good positive card. It's Angel of Love. And actually your next card is the 4th chakra, Archangel Raphael, which again is the heart chakra. So I feel like this is a really good energy to be in. You are surrounded by love. And I feel like you are really being guided and pushed to make sure that you are making choices based on your heart's desire. Not the mind, go with the heart. So don't overthink things. If you want it, go for it. And it's not like if you want it, go for it, like, every impulsive little thing. It's more about if you truly desire it, you truly want it, this is something that you love, the passion, then that's the direction you should take. If you have decisions to make and you think you're overthinking, what do you actually want to do? What's your heart telling you to do, not what your mind? It might not seem a sensible option, but it's what you want to do. Astrologically, this is the best time to be doing that. We're being told to get out of our comfort zones and go for what we want, reach those heights. With this Angel of Love card, I did get this sense of self-love. I feel like you need to make sure you are taking care of number one, and, all of your needs, and make sure you're communicating that. Now, we're coming into May in a Mercury in retrograde, which means that communication-wise, there may be communications I feel for you in terms of love, and I feel like you need to voice, again, things from the heart. Make sure you're being open and honest in that respect. But I do feel like there's dynamics. So the bottom card that you have in this column, sorry a second. Oh, that's so cool. I love it. Um, is a woman holding a coin in reverse. Now, upright, this would say, there's a woman that has a gift, has something to give you. Now, a gift would be wisdom, time, or a literal gift, something to offer, even potentially financially, but it's in reverse. So I feel like perhaps there could be a woman or a feminine energy. So again, this could be male, but someone who has more, like, embodies more of a feminine aspect of themselves. That's how I read these cards, because I feel like, there are those who are more feminine in nature, and I feel like this is sort of saying like they might not be able to support you during this time. Also want to kind of say, like, don't rely on, if you are kind of codependent with somebody who is a woman or feminine, I would say it's a time for you to start being more independent of yourself and kind of pulling your own weight a little bit. And again, making choices from your heart's desire, not just for them. I kind of got two ways of reading this as I come into this top column. But I kind of get this sense of, again, you may have someone who you lean on quite often. Like when making choices, you might rely on the advice of, again, a woman who helps you come to certain decisions, or that you actually allow just to make the decisions for you, which again is not healthy. You have to have input into your life. But I feel like right now that this person's either not being very supportive, unable to, because we all go through our own things, or again, you shouldn't be relying on this person during this time. Oh wow, I love it. I love it, runes. Let's play with Legos. Because this first card is the Elf Queen, introverted, burden, responsibility. Now again, touching on this both columns, I want to say that remember that we all go through things differently. So sometimes we can go, oh, well, I'm going through the same things as that person, but how can I be the supportive one and then that person's not? Remember, we all deal with things differently and we all see things differently. And even though the circumstances might be the same, how we are built and ingrained in us, like that affects on how it affects us and how we deal with things. And that's what happens to you too. And it happens to them. Now, you might be doing okay or struggling and you need them to support you, but they might be struggling and they need you to support them. Neither of you are going to support each other if you're both struggling, to the full capacity. And this is where we have to realize and be compassionate to those around us, but also make sure that we are taking care of ourselves. You should never rely on somebody else to lift you up. It's nice to have those people around us, but if you're having to, heavily burden others with, your desires and your wants within things, you're just putting too much pressure on somebody else. You would not like that in return, right? And this is what I'm saying. It's a healthy balance, but you're being guided to go by what is right for you during this time. Now, the elf queen, I think I need a drink. The elf queen is introverted. She takes time to herself in order to kind of take inventory and realize what's holding her back. And this is what I feel like for you. It's time for you to rest, and it's like rest and reconsider. So apply that if that makes sense to you, because I don't know what that means. Bernice, be careful of the wire, please, because my laptop keeps moving. The next we have the wizard. Now, the wizard is the Rune King, Wise One, and Counselor. He is giving me kind of wise wisdom, as though there is something to hear, as though something might come to you that you need to hear, that might be that boost that you need. However, I feel like as well this could represent yourself, as though you've done this all before. You are wise enough. However, I feel like your circumstances are so far from, and I feel like I've said this to you before, Pisces. So I don't know what's going on in your Pisces world, but I feel like I've said this before, like it's so different to what you naturally would do for yourself. Like I feel like in the situations that you're in currently, it's like you don't take your own advice anymore, which is interesting. But I feel like this is saying you have all you need within you. You know what to do. Is it rainy? So realize your full potential is within you, but also keep an ear out for any wisdom that might be surrounding you. I kind of get masculine energy with this. This is not gender related, but I am just getting that. I mean, it's perhaps, I don't know. I'm reading this card very differently for you guys, because it just feels as though there might be some male advice from an older gentleman for some of you. The hedge witch, sorry. Herb wisdom, secrets, and hidden lore. Definitely feel like something's going to be revealed to you with these two cards in a row. So again, being introverted is sometimes stepping back to kind of take inventory. So it's like you're waiting for something and not taking action, not putting yourself out there. It's kind of like, let's figure it out first and then we'll make the moves. And then I feel like the following cards are saying, wisdom will come to you. Really, bit quieter, just a little bit quieter, because it'll be a bit noisy next to this. And then Mummy has to shout at people. It's too loud. So I feel like something will be revealed to you that might help you move on to these next steps. This is herb magic. A hedge witch uses tools like herbs with different properties and elements to them in order to, boost with a spell with magic towards creating what the life that she desires, the outcome that she's aiming for. So keep that in mind. Perhaps there are tools or things that you can be utilizing to get the outcome that you desire. Bernice, shh, bit noisy. And next we have, yes, again, you have the mirror, the magician and the mirror. Now, upright, this is a very good card, but in reverse, I feel as though it's kind of a stagnant energy. It's like you're pouring everything into what was. And with that being said, like what I was saying about the circumstances you are in now are very different to a past position. Because I feel as though it's kind of like you remember that time like, oh, I was so good at what I was doing. I had everything figured out and now I don't. If you linger on that thought, you're going to stay there. And like, you know what I mean? Your mind's there. Like, that's where I was. But now I'm here. You're still living in that past. You're not really going, this is what I have now. Let's utilize what I know, where I've been, what I've learned from that, to manifest where I want to be. I feel like this is a switch that you need. And it literally feels to me as though you go from not manifesting to really being this magician and creating magic into your life. And you have the hedge witch and the magician, one in a row. Every time I say hedge witch first, like straight on, I always say head witch. But again, it matters. It still goes. It's about being powerful and being your powerful self. Um, and I feel like you are being told you have this potential, and you know that. You're so full of potential, Pisces. But it's just the mindset needs to change first. Next we have patience, but in reverse. And it very much is saying that um, you no longer need to wait for things. It's about take your time into getting into this, but make moves, take action, get moving towards the right direction. I do want to say we are being guided to really get your head straight first, moving forward. Yes, definitely introverted energy. We have community in reverse, so I feel as though it's not a time for you to be putting yourself out there socially, taking on social commitments. It's a time for you to focus on, and I feel like it's very productive. We're going with heart's desire, so think about what you want from life and work towards that. If it is a social, like I want to be more like a social butterfly, then fair enough. Start taking action to create that like future plans. Start planning things. Get yourself out there. Join groups, whatever it is. However, I feel like this time is not for really throwing yourself out there, because it's about thinking about where you want to be and focusing on self rather than focusing on putting yourself out in the world, and kind of burdening yourself with things that you don't need right now, if that makes sense. And the dreamer, yes, definitely. You need to be goal orientated right now. You need to be thinking, what do I want? What do I desire? Where do I want to be 1 year from now? 5 years from now? Start making those goals, because Pisces, I know that you thrive by making goals and then achieving them. That this is something that really can help you feel more accomplished in yourself. And I feel like that's what you felt is lacking with all the halt with what happened with the big C, and us all being, stuck at home all the time. I feel like it's shaken us all up. And this is where you're trying to get back that passion. So dream big. Start making those goals. We're in the best time astrologically to really dream big and making it happen. And I do feel like you are one of the signs that's very good at doing that. Initiate making it happen. You have curiosity, open and warm. It's time for you to open yourself up to the warmth. I feel like you've been allowing yourself to sit in the cold for a while, which means I do think you have introverted yourself. So even though I'm telling you, you need to take time and hide away, I just feel though that the introversion that you've been using previously has not been constructive. It's like hiding away, potentially maybe creating bad habits for yourself that's put you in this position of feeling like you can't have the motivation to do anything. So you need to open yourself up and be more curious. Because remember, when we have nothing, and I feel like I need to say this to some of you, when you have nothing, you have, that means the whole world has everything to offer. And that's a really good space to be in. Now, coming from a person who is in this position myself, it's scary. It doesn't necessarily feel nice. And when someone's telling you this, it doesn't come across the same way. It doesn't sound as exciting than when you get to the other side of it. But I am holding hope that, it will feel much better once we get into the swing of things. And I feel like that's exactly what you need to realize, that even if it feels uncomfortable, again, astrologically, we're supposed to get uncomfortable to get exactly where we want to be. The Queen of the Darkwood Elves, premonition, foreshadowing, and mystery. So we're not supposed to know exactly what's ahead for us, but we are supposed to at least look forward to and realize that the mystery is part of the joy. If we knew everything and knew what was coming, we wouldn't really have excitement and fulfillment in our lives. So realize that just because you can't see the full end result does not mean that the journey is not going to be fun, or that you won't feel fulfilled once you reach it. I feel like this is something potentially that stops many of us from even making those first steps when we tell ourselves it's not going to work because of X, Y, Z. You cannot know that. So let's not allow those shadows to, again, cloud our judgment. I do feel like you have, with the dreamer and then this at the bottom, I feel like you have these visions hidden within inside of yourself. I just need you to bring them to this surface and initiate the steps towards making it happen. So thank you so much, Pisces. Thank you for being here. I am loving this for you. Please keep in mind, let's create those goals. Please subscribe to my channel. Please, 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 please. I forgot what I was going to say. It is my birthday for May, and I've been saying at the end of my videos that, you know, if you want to give me a birthday present, just subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. Thank you, guys. I'll see you next month. I can't find the button.